Have you ever felt like you shared too much, only to be met with cold silence, betrayal, or worse? Have your own words used against you? You're not alone. Many of us have opened up, hoping to feel connected and seen. And instead, we lost our privacy, lost control, and sometimes lost ourselves in the process. But let me tell you a deep truth. The most powerful person in the room is rarely the one who talks the most. It's the one who only speaks when it truly matters. And when they do, the entire room goes quiet. Because people know their words carry weight. Not because of volume, but because they've mastered something most of us still struggle with daily: the discipline of strategic silence. And from this point forward, we're going to uncover one of the most underestimated but powerful principles. The very one that helps high achievers maintain respect, stay in control of their lives, and protect what matters most on their journey to success. If you want me to share more on how to protect your privacy, stand firm in your values, and succeed with wisdom, then drop a 9 in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, so you never miss out on the power you were born to carry. Clues to success are hard to find, even in the words of the successful. What they willfully omit to disclose is where the true riches lie. During one of the most difficult times in my life, I realized this to be true. I finally grasped the difference between dreamers and achievers after seeing partnerships fall apart over inappropriately shared information. Opportunities slip away because plans were announced too soon, and relationships break apart because people confided in the wrong people. Everyone seems to be constantly airing their grievances, successes, and failures as if it were a virtue, adding to the cacophony of human communication. We have been led to think that being open and honest is the same as being dishonest. What a potentially harmful misconception. Take a look about you at the extraordinary individuals in our midst. These are the ones who are creating money, leading innovations, and whose lives seem to be moving forward with extraordinary speed and accuracy. Their movement across the world is distinct. What they share is unique. Their unfaltering discipline in protecting particular facts stems from strategic acumen rather than uneasiness or fear. Whoever yells the loudest or delivers the strongest punch is not always the most dangerous person on earth. The most dangerous individual is the one who watches without saying a word. Some realities strike you square in the breast. When you're confronted with them, you can't help but wonder where you've been going wrong. Among such realities is this: have you ever pondered the enigmatic advantages that certain individuals seem to have in life? They manage to escape the typical traps that ensnare most people, while simultaneously climbing higher, strengthening their relationships, and accumulating more riches. Who are they to judge that the majority of people fail to do? What do they know? I'll fill you in. Strategic quiet is a powerful tool, and smart individuals know this. The most astute among us have become experts at withholding information in a society that is fixated on sharing, oversharing, and continual digital connectivity. Once out into the world, some things can never be retrieved, they've realized. Incredible achievement may be built upon the strength of self-control, the capacity to play one's cards close to one's breast. The 3 things that brilliant individuals never divulge are going to be our topic today. You could find out why you've been unwittingly limiting your own potential if you take the time to learn about these limits. First, however, I have a question for you. Did you ever wish you had said something but didn't? Perhaps a few of times. Have you ever felt remorse for a statement you made? Those nods and those gestures of agony are visible to me. Do you agree that they are the costly lessons? The feelings that wear it over the speaker. An effort to conceal weaknesses revealed to the wrong person at the wrong moment is conveyed via the portrayal of confidence. Arrows are words. Regardless of how much you want to retrieve them, once they are released, they cannot be retrieved. They move with an irreversible momentum as they soar toward their objective. The astute are aware of this. They have grown. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way that certain things are better left unsaid, no matter how much you want to. So, what exactly are these three holy lines that the wise always stay on? When it comes to their success and intelligence, what are the three things that successful individuals preserve with unflinching discipline? Affluent individuals keep their financial situation a closely guarded secret. You may be asking, what about transparency? While this is happening, how about genuineness? We should be transparent about our achievements and failures, right? Not in regard to the specifics of your financial status. Allow me to explain. When you're in a financial bind, opening up about how bad things are might lead to harmful reactions. The pity of the helpless and the exploitation of the unhelpful. Neither one helps your cause progress. Plus, when you're doing well financially, bragging about it could make you the target of jealousy, demands for freebies, and even blatant crooks. Knowing your financial information is like having blood in water. As smart people know, sharks are drawn to it. As a result, people's perceptions and interactions with you will shift, and usually for the worse. Think about it. How many people's life were completely upended when word got out about the lottery that they won? When loved ones found out how big their business was, how many successful entrepreneurs have seen their relationships fall apart? What matters most is your financial situation. Only you, your close relatives, and maybe a reliable financial advisor should be privy to this information. Your strategic objectives dictate what the rest of the world learns and nothing more. Success is something I am not trying to hide. I am safeguarding it, he informed me. Most importantly, I'm safeguarding the opportunities that come with my success for the sake of the people who matter most to me. Intelligent individuals do not trade stocks, but rather financial concepts. Although they will show you the ropes, they will keep mum about their catch rates and preferred fishing locations. Mysteries they know keep people captivated. You give up some control, the ability to influence other people's perceptions of your capabilities. The second you reveal everything. Who, therefore, really need access to your whole financial situation? Who stands to gain from such information? Above all else, does it help you when you share it? The second secret that successful individuals keep is what they plan to do next. Do you ever find yourself surprised by how much the most successful individuals manage to accomplish? Their work goes unnoticed one day, and then they unveil something groundbreaking the next. As if by magic, they went from 0 to 60 in the blink of an eye. The truth is that they have been secretly working on construction, planning, and execution for a long time. As any astute person will tell you, there are two negative forces at work when you announce your goals too soon: external opposition and inward gratification. Now, the world is going to fight you for what you want. Out of genuine concern, others will try to dissuade you. People will want to prevent you from growing because they feel threatened by your success. Some people may even attempt to foil your plans or outdo you. Why not deny them the opportunity? Before you've gained enough momentum to overcome hurdles, why should you let anybody put them in your way? Internal happiness, however, might pose an even greater threat. Speaking about your aspirations triggers an odd psychological effect. Feelings of accomplishment, almost as if you've already accomplished things, wash over you. A public declaration of purpose reduces the likelihood that you will really carry it out, according to research. Why? For the simple reason that, much like when you carry out your ideas, just talking about them will make you feel good. You get the benefits without exerting any effort. Until the right time comes, smart individuals hold back their goals, not out of fear, but because it's the smart thing to do. They are cognizant of the fact that exposed ideas quickly deteriorate or are appropriated by others, endowed with greater means but less imagination. Take a look at the most significant inventions and accomplishments in history. Developing them in front of an audience in a town square wouldn't have been possible. They were crafted in places shielded from both outside criticism and hasty acclaim, such as workshops, labs, and silent chambers. Get the same level of security for your next major undertaking. Instead of being squashed by doubters or watered down by believers before it can grow, it ought to flourish in rich soil. What I mean is that you shouldn't ever work alone or never ask for input. I'm advising you to be selective about who you let inside your vision while it's still in its early stages. Only those who have shown themselves worthy of your trust and who share your passion for success should be considered. As for everyone else, once your move is made, let it speak for itself. The depths of one's own troubles are the third thing that intelligent people seldom divulge. You may be surprised by this one. Suggesting that you keep your most personal struggles hidden could seem backwards, even retrograde, in this age that values openness and honesty. However, astute individuals are aware that genuine connection and unadulterated honesty are quite different. When you confide in them about your problems, it's like giving someone the key to your emotional home. Not everyone should be allowed to use every room. No matter the source of your distress, mental health challenges, interpersonal strife, career failure, or physical illness, you are at your most defenseless when you are going through a tough time. Your guard is down. Because you're in a vulnerable state emotionally and mentally, you run the risk of confiding in individuals who aren't qualified to assist you or won't treat the information you've given with them with the compassion it deserves. Intelligent individuals are picky about who they let see their hardships. People who have shown themselves to be loyal, wise, and discreet become part of their inner circle. Just a select handful are privy to this information. Whoever has earned the right to hear your realities, no matter how painful they may be, should hear them. Smart individuals, on the other hand, share their hardships with others only after they've thought them through, gained insight from them, and used it to help others. Keeping up an unrealistic standard of excellence is not the point here. Realizing the significance of context, timing, and the domino impact of your disclosures is key. So, it's not a good idea to try to recount a storm when you're in the thick of it. Finding refuge and getting through this ordeal are your top priorities. Sharing your dilemma with the world when you're in the midst of it is usually not the wisest move. After the storm has passed and you've regained your footing, then is the time to tell your story in a manner that does justice to your path, while also giving others hope that they, too, can overcome obstacles. The most intelligent individuals know that their lowest points shouldn't be shared with the world. They should be guarded at their most dangerous times because they are hallowed places of change. Another thing to think about is this. You should not assume that everyone who shows concern for your plight is acting in your best interest. Some people get their kicks out of others' tragedies. For future use, some people stockpile vulnerabilities like ammo. Some people just can't seem to be able to maintain room for others' suffering without letting it center on themselves. Problems like yours are not fun to see. You can't use them to make friends. These are very private adventures, so you should only share them with those who have shown they can be there for you without interfering. Now please tell me what these 3 tenets of strategic quiet mean. Keeping your money safe, keeping your next major move under wraps, and being judicious about who you let in on your worries. Knowledge is power, and they all understand it. It requires deliberate and prudent use, just like any other kind of power. Deciding to keep things private might seem defiant in a society that often connotes openness as being genuine. However, astute individuals know that being genuine doesn't need disclosing every detail. The key is to carefully consider what information to provide and why. Some information they know doesn't just lose value when it falls into the wrong hands or at the wrong moment. It may even be detrimental to your goals and abilities if you let it. So, I must inquire, what information have you been divulging that may benefit from more security? Could you be more judicious about whatever aspects of your life you've been sharing online? In what contexts may deliberate quiet be more useful than constant chatter? The reasons why some dreams stay out of reach, some relationships seem unbalanced, and some possibilities never materialize might be revealed by the responses to these questions. For the simple reason that in a society when everyone is trying to be noticed by sharing more, the people who share less but more intentionally and with more impact usually end up with more power. The only reason intelligent people aren't secretive is if they're hiding something. Their selective behavior stems from a need to safeguard their tranquility, untapped potential, and agency in shaping their own life stories. The next time you're tempted to brag about anything big, a financial victory, an ambitious ambition, or even a personal struggle, stop and ask yourself whether it's necessary to brag. For what purpose? Because the silence that follows a profound statement is often more impactful than the words themselves, the response may alter the course of your life. The facts you choose to keep to yourself are among the most precious possessions you will ever hold. This in no way implies avoiding other people or refusing to form relationships. It implies realizing that limits aren't obstacles. They are the cornerstones of genuine relationships. Nothing more than that. They work as filters to make sure the information you share benefits both you and the people you share it with. Understanding the essential realities, intelligent individuals never carelessly disclose these 3 things. Your access is not automatically granted to everyone, and it's not even acceptable. It's crucial for your health and prosperity, your future plans, your greatest challenges, and everything in between. You must honor these parts of your path. Safeguarding them is proper. They should have purpose. You should only share them when you decide to, how you want to, and with whom you want to. Why? Because your silence may say as much about you as your words. Rarely is the person who speaks the most successful in any given setting. Sometimes it's the one who watches everything and says nothing except what's necessary to forward their agenda. Strategic quiet is an art form that it has perfected. And you can tap into that expertise with your next engagement, which is happening right now. Which ones are you going to decide to keep closed? How much control could you reassert if you finally shut those long open doors? These 3 things are seldom shared by intelligent people, yet the answers might change everything. Neither will you, going forward. In your everyday interactions, whether they be in casual conversation, on social media, or in an offhand comment, how much of yourself do you really reveal? They are fragments of who you are that have been tossed to the wind. Plus, once they're out in the wild, they're never really yours again. The majority of individuals go about their daily lives completely uninhibited. No boundaries, no filters turned off. They act as if completely openness is the most admirable quality. As if being vague is inherently untrustworthy. How foolish and expensive! Consider the most admired and accomplished individuals you're acquainted with. Is everything they say shared with everyone? Do they make their financial information public knowledge? Does everyone know about every strategy before it's put into action? Do they openly work through their most profound suffering as it unfolds? On the other hand, is there an air of mystery whenever they move? A certain degree of control over their own story? I'd wager on the second option because there's a basic truth that the most successful individuals have figured out. Deception is not discernment. Discernment is discretion. Furthermore, judgment is a quality that many people nowadays fail to value enough. What follows is an in-depth examination of these three topics. With unfaltering self-control, intelligent individuals safeguard your financial situation, which includes more than just being quiet about money and income. Here we are talking about the subtle but important ways in which discussions about money alter the nature of relationships. People change their expectations when they see that you have more wealth than them. Discontents adjust. People start to anticipate your generosity instead of being grateful for it. There may be more anger and bitterness rather than encouragement in response to your failures. Conflict dynamics change, however, when others see that you have fewer resources than they do. Your views may not be as influential. People may show less regard for your limits. You may be unknowingly reducing your worth to the relationship. Knowledge about money causes an imbalance, and smart people recognize this. They want to keep their wealth a secret so that relationships may flourish based on shared values and interests rather than financial status. Knowing that your whole financial picture is confidential and not meant for public consumption does not imply being dishonest when questioned directly, but it does involve acknowledging that. Think about how people react differently to lottery winners after word gets out about their fortune. Faraway loved ones show up with heartbreaking tales. Good friends anticipate expensive presents. Prospective investors approach complete strangers. Instead of being regarded as a person, the victor is now seen as a resource to be exploited. Do you really want that dynamic in your life? Broadcasting your financial condition seldom promotes your long-term goals, regardless of your position, whether you're doing incredibly well or momentarily suffering. Letting your lifestyle reflect a balanced reality, one that doesn't overstate your achievements or downplay your struggles, is a better choice. Rather of letting other people's understanding of your abilities dictate your generosity, let it be a conscious decision. Keep your financial path a secret, guided by your principles, not by the expectations of others. Regarding your next significant move, this prudence has numerous functions, each of which safeguards your potential in its own unique manner. Keeping your goals under wraps is vital for more reasons than only the ones we've previously covered, such as the exterior opposition and psychological fulfillment. Objectives shift. Throughout time, concepts develop. New knowledge causes directions to change. You should consider penning a book. Even the most successful writers don't tell everyone they know about their rough manuscripts. They may have a select group of people who read and critique their work, but they don't share their unpolished pieces with the public. Why? A nascent concept might be snuffed out before it ever becomes your objectives, aspirations, or ambitions if exposed to too much information too soon. They should also be protected from harm. They need time and room to grow into their greatest potential before they have to deal with the scrutiny of society. This in no way implies operating in a vacuum. This requires deliberate choice of who gets to see your creations as they evolve. Having confidants and collaborators who are sensitive to the delicate nature of new ideas and who will respect their need for seclusion is essential. Until they were prepared to be unveiled, some of history's most remarkable accomplishments were created in a state of relative silence. Many works of art, technological advancements, and scientific discoveries were shielded from the public eye until their makers decided they were ready. Every major decision you make should have the same amount of time to mature before it is subject to public scrutiny. Last but not least, your individual challenges. In a time when being vulnerable is typically associated with careless sharing, this could be the most paradoxical area of caution. Getting help from others is not just a good idea. It's crucial while you're going through tough circumstances. When there are opportunities for connection and empathy, no one should have to endure suffering alone. Contrast this with the extreme opposite of strategically being vulnerable with selected confidants and just telling everyone who would listen about your problems. The wise know that you can't give someone the benefit of the doubt when it comes to your suffering. Unfortunately, not everyone has shown they can handle your vulnerability with the kind of seriousness it deserves, the kind of respect that keeps rumors at far, and the kind of empathy that keeps criticism at bay. Spreading your problems to everyone has a number of dangers. Because of this, you may be more susceptible to those who would take advantage of your suffering. It has the potential to shape your story in a way that is hard to change, even after you've recovered. Attracting those who are more interested in your flaws than your strengths is a real possibility. Processing your greatest struggles is, maybe, the most critical. You risk impeding your personal healing process if you do it in a public forum. Safe havens are often necessary for transformation. A safe space where you may experience, analyze, and integrate challenging emotions without having to worry about how other people will respond. The wise create a small group of individuals they can confide in when times are tough. Those who have shown themselves to be wise, discreet, and kind. They are the lucky ones who get to see through the mask and realize their hardships for what they really are. Everyone else, on the other hand, shares deliberately, judiciously, and often in hindsight, after they've matured enough to turn their suffering into insight that may help others. Putting up an act of flawlessness is not the point. You must realize that the path to recovery is a private sanctuary, not a public road. The key is to show vulnerability not out of desperation, but with purpose if you want to be powerful. Think about the means by which we tend to wounds that are tangible. We make sure they aren't left out in the open at all times. Until they're well enough to be exposed, we clean them, shield them, and sometimes wrap them in bandages. At the very least, emotional wounds need the same amount of attention. Those with intelligence get this. They are aware of when and who to ask for help. They are able to distinguish between processing with an air of trustworthy confidence and staging public displays of anguish. When combined, strategic silence, financial standing, future aspirations, and personal challenges provide a strong basis for prosperity and health. To safeguard your most prized possessions, your serenity, your progress, and your genuine relationships, they create limits. Setting these limits may seem countercultural in a society that views privacy with suspicion and constraint as insincere. People who are used to having unfettered access to your private life may resist your efforts to do this. Maybe you'll start to worry whether you're coming off as too reserved or not genuine enough. Think at it this way. Being genuine isn't about telling everyone everything. It's about being true to yourself and setting healthy boundaries in your interactions with others so that you may live a life that is consistent with your ideals. The wise know that there are certain facts that should be spread far and wide, others that should be given with care, and some that should be kept secret, at least temporarily. Knowing the difference is not dishonesty, it is knowledge. Therefore, I dare you to reflect on your disclosure habits going forward. In what areas may setting boundaries with greater purpose help you? Maybe you've been opening out too much, too fast, or to the wrong people. If you were to keep your financial situation a secret, what would happen? Until your next great move gathered overwhelming momentum, wouldn't you want to shield it? What if you were pickier about who saw your hardships in their early stages? Major shifts may occur. Those who have won your trust may find that your relationships with them become stronger. Eliminating the drag of early exposure could speed your progress toward objectives. As you take back control of your story, you may feel a surge of strength. Simply said, it is the essence of asserting your autonomy in making a decision. The freedom to decide when, what, how, and with whom you disclose certain information. A radical act of self-respect. This reclaiming becomes in a society that strives for perpetual exposure and unlimited accessibility. Your life is not a commodity to be shared or perused by others. Rather, it is a sacred space where you may create an experience according to your values and set limits to keep others out. Because of the tremendous worth of what they would be giving up, intelligent people never carelessly give these three items. Some data isn't simply private. It's priceless, and they get it. Your financial situation is a reflection of your safety and choices. Your ambitions and potential are embodied in your next major move. You have grown and become more resilient as a result of your personal challenges. Everyone should do what's necessary to keep all three of them safe from harm. Instead of automatically disclosing information, all three gain from deliberate sharing. Before you give in to the demand to reveal a private area of your life, consider if the individual or organization in question has earned the right to do so the next time you feel the want to do so. In what ways would disclosing this information benefit me the most? Is this revelation something I voluntarily made, or is it a reaction to pressure from other sources? The way you interact with the world and the way the environment interacts with you can be drastically altered depending on the responses. Simply said, less is more when it comes to sensitive personal data. Strategic quiet may convey a lot. Additionally, the things you decide to keep private might end up safeguarding the very opportunities you want to manifest. The astute are aware of this. You are now as well. Pursuing strategic quiet isn't without its challenges. Being enthusiastic about a new endeavor requires self-control. When other people are demanding specifics, you must exercise restraint. Cultural currents that encourage careless sharing need prudence. However, there are incalculable benefits. Feeling at ease, knowing that your most sensitive data is safe. The strength that comes from writing your own story. When your objectives are protected from criticism and exposure too soon, you may go forward more quickly. This is the knowledge of the really successful. It is not that they have more knowledge than others, Rather, it is that they are more adept at knowing when to share and when to keep information to themselves. With your next interaction, you will have immediate access to it. Tell me what you're going to hold dear. How much control could you reassert if you finally shut those long open doors? These three things are seldom shared by intelligent people, yet the answers might change everything. Maybe you won't either, beginning today. Whoever yells the loudest or delivers the strongest punch is not always the most dangerous person on earth. The most dangerous individual is the one who watches without saying a word. Keep it in mind, put it into practice, and see how your life transforms. Whoever has the greatest information does not always rule the world. Those people are the most wise when it comes to using what they know. Also, knowing when to be quiet may be a great knowledge at times. Think about Darton. Even the most exquisite blossoms have their off-seasons. During their dormant periods, they build strength under the surface, where they are invisible to the naked eye. They retreat and make do with less. They hold on to their true selves until the right time comes to let them shine. Everybody is the same. Protection from harm allows your ideas, finances, and personal struggles to flourish. When protected from uninformed criticism and casual observation, they all flourish. Avoiding prying eyes is not the point here. The key is to know that not every patch of dirt will grow your most prized crops. Some places are good for growth, some others hamper it. Planting appropriately is a sign of a smart person. Due to their premature exposure, I've seen several potential endeavors, including it. Before they were completely developed, I've seen excellent ideas watered down by an excess of views. People's personal changes were halted when they were exposed to public scrutiny before they had built up enough strength. In my experience, stay away from these pitfalls. Preserve what is most important. Dedicate a special area to your most important projects. The work you do outside and the work you accomplish within. In most games, the most effective plays are the ones that the other player isn't prepared for. Your self-control has allowed you to cultivate them in secret until the right time for unveiling, not because you've been dishonest. As if keeping anything secret were inherently dishonest or suspicious. Society forces us to constantly reveal everything. Put up a fight against it. Make sure you know that limits aren't obstacles to building relationships. They are the bedrock upon which genuine relationship may be built. Problems with your personal life, your financial situation, and your next major relocation. This is not owned by the public. These parts of your trip are holy and should be handled with care, with purpose, and with selective sharing based on trust, rather than random curiosity. Get good at this. Instead of waiting for miraculous new knowledge to change your life, try embracing strategic quiet and seeing how your life improves as a result of consciously guarding the essential information you currently have. Ultimately, it's not always your level of knowledge that determines the quality of an output. Knowing when, how, and with whom to share what you know is a sign of wisdom. Right now, you have access to a wealth of knowledge. Is it yours to claim? Speaking about Disco, for training and quality assurance reasons, this call will be monitored as a FII. Permit me to swiftly get your information. Please, wait a moment. Next, to verify your identification, you'll need to provide me with your account's email address or phone number. All right, I've shown you. In that case, what are you hoping to achieve with the upgrade? Is there anything in particular that you're interested in?